Hello everyone and welcome to another classic guitar video. Tonight's guitar is a BC Rich Special Mockingbird. It's a couple of years old, but it is NOS. The term NOS means new old stock, meaning it's an older model, but it's still brand new. It still has the protective plastic on the covers and things like that. So it's a little dusty and a little bit dirty. The guy just bought it kind of as a wall hanger, if you will. So I'm just going to do my regular cleanup on it. I am going to resell this. I'm going to sell it as not brand new, but sell it as NOS. I use that term a lot in my postings when I post up a guitar for sale, something that's new in the box or new in the package, but it's a few years old, new old stock NOS. So let's have a look at this this puppy. And well, we can't have a look at this puppy because there's something awry with my webcam. So I'm gonna have to unplug and replug. Might have to restart the stream again. Let's see. There we go. Ooh, it's a little off. It'll self-correct here in a second. There it goes. Okay. It's a good high-def webcam, so it autofocus and all that good stuff. So, all right. Pause my own stream. A lot of people make that mistake when they live stream from the console at YouTube. They watch their own live stream under the live streaming tab and they don't press pause, so they're using double bandwidth. There are lots of people do that and you don't want to do that. Okay, so here it is. Alright, yeah, here it is. BC Rich Special Mockingbird. It's black with black and white binding. It has the cloud inlays, ebony fretboard. It's a medium quality guitar. So yeah, here it is. And here's the protective plastic on the cover still. It doesn't have any on the Grover tuners because they're rounded in the back, so it's kind of hard to put a protective sticker on there. Most of those don't have protective stickers on them anyway. And the protective plastic over the pickups is gone too. We'll go ahead and plug this Mockingbird in and we'll give it a quick test play and make sure everything is copacetic. I pretty much bought this guitar sight unseen and I didn't even plug it in to test it. So here we go. Okay, it plays, and the next thing I check is the switch. And I always jiggle it a little, tap it a little bit, make sure there's no static, or a little bit, but they all do that. There's no major popping or static. And then we test the volume and the tone knobs. Okay, it has the Rockfield pickups in it. So that's pretty awesome. Awesome sauce. So we'll give this a little test play and a quick general tune. guy said it had tuning issues. He said it wouldn't stay in tune. And it's because the tuners are loose. The machine heads on the tuners are loose. Dirty channel. Plays out good. Just a little bit of the tuning issue. That's just the machine heads are loose. Loose is a long neck goose. So, and it was a warm day today. It was 92 today. Like, whew, I'm really tired of the hot weather, to be quite honest. Okay, so we will detune this and flip it over and check the covers. So, yeah, I picked this up fairly cheap because the guy said it had tuning issues. I took his word for it. So, oh, one of the strings is wrapped around the tuning peg the opposite direction, which technically it doesn't matter, but they're supposed to be wound from the inside, not the outside. This one's wound from the outside too. So that's interesting. Yeah, so is the high E string. So, man, I don't like that. That sucks. I think I can save the strings because the strings are new. I'll just take them off the post very carefully and rewrap them on from the inside. Which, if you're astute at doing, you can do that pretty easily. It's not a big deal at all in any way, shape, or form. So I will take the back cover off, and I'll probably take a quick picture of it. Now, some people ask, well, if I'm not going to do anything, the guitar is new, and I'm not going to do anything when I take the covers off, why do I even do it? Well, one, just to check it. You never know. There might be a huge dust bunny in there or something. There might be some wood chips that need to be cleaned out. Any number of things. So I just look at it to give it a quick look and a quick pick. A quick pick, if you will. Just to say I did. It has a Gibson type switch in it. So that's cool. Okay, and that's it. I'll put the cover right back on. And that's all we do. Pretty straightforward. So they made two different models of these. They made the Special, which this is, and then they made one called a Special X. Really not much of a difference between the two. You could still get them in the same colors, same options, and really one isn't worth much more than the other. So yeah, so we'll take the electronics cover off and take a gander under there, and again, just to check it, maybe there's a solder connection that's not quite good, and then that'll enable me to look at it and assess it and resolder it if need be. So that's why I do that. Take the cover off. Sometimes they print the person who puts the guitar together puts their name, like an employee number, and then the date. Sometimes, not all the time. And they are full 500K pots, so that's good. Also gives me a chance to check the inside of the jack, so that's a good thing too. Go to check the inside of the jack. Yeah, okay, good enough. So when I put the cable in to test play it, it was good, but there's a little tab in here. So usually what I'll do is I'll take my finger and I'll just push that tab just a little bit more, like about that much, just so that way the jack is nice and tight. And I'll go ahead and do that. Just that way it's nice, has a good connection. And yeah. So this guitar should not take me long to do. It'll be about 2 hours. There's not a whole lot wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it, considering it's NOS new old stock. And I'm probably going to ask, I'm going to get probably $400 for this guitar. Not a huge amount. I mean, there's no belt buckle rash on this, no strum marks on the front. So this thing is virtually unplayed. I think the guy said he strummed on it once for about a half an hour and then mounted it on his wall. He just thought said it was cool to have hanging on his wall. Simple as that. And we'll check the jack and make sure the jack is nice and tight. Jack and the jack plate. So it's a little bit loose, but that's alright. We'll tighten it right up. There we go. And then we'll tighten the jack itself. Now that we've tightened the jack plate. Oh yeah, the jack was pretty loose. Oop. Oop. So almost a little bit more. I don't want to go too tight because those jack nuts only have about 2.5 threads on them. And one can strip those out, and then you'll have to not only replace the jack but the jack nut, and I don't like doing that if at all humanly possible, just because I don't. And tighten the strap buttons. Whoops. And that's it on that. Ooh, we're getting off kilter here. And then we'll tighten the back of the tuners. Check and make sure they're all straight and they're not all cockeyed or anything. You want them all nice and straight. You don't want them cockeyed. And yes, that's a word, cockeyed. It's not a pun. Somebody thought I was making a dirty reference or something a few months back. Cockeyed? Cockeyed. Yes, cockeyed, that's a word. They were like, no. Oh yes, you don't want them cockeyed. This one's a little bit, whoops, that one's a little bit cockeyed. Ooh. Retighten that one. Okay, there we go on that one. It's all cockeyed. We'll flip the sucker over and then we'll do the nuts. Do the nuts. Yep, wrong one. There we go. Ooh, really loose. That one was just hand loose. Again, use your thumb to keep pressure down on it so you don't go like that and strip the thing out and then scratch the top of the headstock. I've seen people do that time and time again. And then they go, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Well, you don't want to go too tight on these or you'll strip the 2.5 threads that are on the nuts for the tuning pegs. You just go a little at a time until you feel you can't go any further. You don't need to, you know, impact them down. That's not what you're going for. You're just going for tight. And that's it. Just tight. And now we will tighten the machine heads for the tuners because they are all a little loose. Loose as a long necked goose. There we go. I really need to RMA this screwdriver. The tip is starting to wear. I've got a lifetime warranty on these Wera screwdrivers. My brother bought me these, it'll be 3 Christmases ago. So this one, the tip is wearing. So I will have to turn it in and they'll send me a new one. Sometimes when you send in one screwdriver, instead of just sending you one back, they will send you a whole entire new set. And there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screwdrivers in this set. So I'm kind of hoping they'll send me a whole new set because I do promote them on my streams and they know that. They know I promote them on my streams. And so they might send me a whole set, which would be phenomenal if they did that. I would love that if they did that. Okay, why is this? Oh, I need to. This has Allen set screws to keep the tailpiece in place. So you just need to release the set screw. And I think it's going to be a 1.5 millimeter. It might be a 1.5. It might be a little bit smaller than that. And I think it is. Yeah. It's a 127, I think. Or no, it is a 1.5. Because this is 1.5 millimeter. I was thinking a 2 millimeter. Okay. Maybe it's not even 1. No, it is. It is 1.5. Okay. So you just have to go a little at a time because you can only turn it halfway. I might have to release some more tension on the strings to get those out. So it's kind of good that they have set screws on these because, you know, when you do height adjustment, you can do height adjustment on the tail piece here, and you can kind of lock that in place, if you will. So that's a neat function. So, and then I'll pull the knobs off next. And then we'll do the pickup pole height. And then we'll do the polish on the frets and fretboard. Come on. And then we'll do the polish on the guitar. I shouldn't have any problems, issues, or glitches with this. So. One more, I think, ought to do it. These are kind of hard to adjust because it only gives you a half throw on the adjustment. In other words, you turn it half, and then you got to pull it out half. So it's like, okay. No, I still got to do it more because it's not cooperating. I take this off. This is the bridge. That'll give me a little more tension to work with. And it's still not enough. Okay, and then I can unscrew this one. Oop. I should have used my ball end Allen wrenches. These are not ball end, but if you have ball end, you can angle it a little, and then you can have full turn like this. But I didn't get my ball ends out, so that's alright, no big deal. Okay, I still need a little more tension off the strings, or I can just simply unscrew these and then lift it all out as a unit. But doing that, you have to be real careful because if something falls out of your fingers while taking it out, it'll bounce off the top and you'll scratch the finish. So you have to have a really good hold. Normally you could just slip it up and off, but I don't like to release too much tension off the strings because then that messes up with the original winds on the strings. Ooh, come on. Okay, there we go. And then we'll take the adjusters off for the bridge. And I'll put the camera view back. Whew, it is a warm, humid night. pretty dusty considering it was a wall hanger. That's why I don't like to hang guitars on a wall. Because for one, they're gonna get dusty and dirty. So for anything, that reason. Okay. There's 2. Oop. There's 3. You have to do it from this side because the pots are countersunk. They have a countersink to them, and you can't really get the tool in there unless you go to the bottom of the countersink. I don't know why this one's giving me issues coming up. Come on. There we go. It's coming. Sometimes you got to be patient. You don't want to crack them, you know. Crack them, then I gotta get new ones. I have those. This is a very common style of knob, so that wouldn't be the issue. The issue would be just me simply breaking them. And let's see. And we'll tighten these. Now we'll tighten these with the box end rather than the open end, because the open end has edges and they're countersink, and if you go around you'll start scratching the inside of the countersink because it's higher. So if I use the box end, box ratchet end, these are ratcheting wrenches, so then I can get this a little more precisely. Why is that not? That nut seems to be a different size. Or it could be just the fit. That's interesting. Okay. Ooh, that's definitely too big. That is quite strange. It's slightly bigger. I guess I'm going to have to use the box end on this one. Just going to have to be extra careful. And then extra careful on this one. Okay. Now we will do the bezels. Make sure the bezels are tight. And they are tight so far. You don't want to go too tight on these bezels or you'll crack the edges. And then I gotta make sure the three-way switch is tight. I always hold my screwdriver with 2 hands, just so I don't slip. Inevitably, sometimes you'll slip anyway, but you're less likely to slip with both hands on. Then we'll do the pickup pole height. I usually just feel by hand. I've gotten to know over the years where I want it And I know what the factory setting is. Also, okay. Very good. Yeah, fretboard is dirty. Okay. I have to be extra careful because this is countersunk too, and I don't want to scratch the edge of the countersink. So it's pretty tight already, so I'm not gonna mess with it too much. There we go. And then the truss rod cover. And we'll check the truss rod out. Here's the truss rod cover. Now again, this is the special, not the Special X model.
So she got this big house practically falling apart. And she started rounding up children. Eventually there were over 40 in the state.
So let's have a look. And it's an Allen.
You know, she got
So I'll get my tool out. And we'll give it a test.
She taught us all how to read.
The truss rod adjustment.
And she grew vegetables in a hard pan to feed us. And she made sure we knew how to
Okay, first go tight to see how tight it is. Just a little bit. It's already pretty good. I'm just going to give it another little, about a 1/16 of a turn. And that's it. And that's it. Put my Allens back until I need them again. Oops. Oops. Okay. Turn the camera view back for you guys. Take a picture of the fretboard. And then we'll start on the fretboard and frets in a minute here. Take a before picture. Yeah, it's dirty. It's just dirty from sitting. We'll go grab a new fresh drink and I'll be right back.
I use people. I'm a criminal. That's what your son is. I know. He did.
Oh, yes. I know all about your troubles with the Canadian authorities.
You do.
Just making a difference, Jason. You're still my son.
Looks so good.
And like it or not.
Okay, oops. Okay. Alright. Alright, get my drill out and ready and poised. Ouch. And we'll commence fretboard and fret cleaning. We will commence immediately. We will commence forthwith. Yeah, this will come out pretty nice, I think. I'm going to do an extra good job on this because, not that I don't ever do an extra good job, but I'm going to probably go over it a few more times than I normally do. Just because it's an ebony fretboard against a black guitar, so. Direction again. In the opposite direction again. Oops. Now we'll do the frets. And again. Whew, well, that gives your shoulders a workout. I'll tell you that right now. Whew. And I'll put a little more fresh polish on there and do one final run of the whole thing. Oh, mercy. That gives you a workout. You might not think so because the tool's doing all the work, but you still have to press down and run it back and forth and up, down, and sideways. That you still have to do. That you still have to do. Okay. Here is another fresh, clean
300 billion kilometers from here. Dollar cost, maximum.
microfiber cloth. I'm going to take a during picture on this fretboard too, because it's coming out extra nice in my ever so humble opinion. So I'm going to take a during picture. And I'll take an after picture here in a minute. Okay, so once again, here we go. And I'll go about a dozen strokes across and I'll show you guys. Alright, here we go. Okay, that was 12, I think, maybe 13. Oh, here's the after. And then do it again. Oh, you know what? I might have to do it twice. It's so dirty. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I still see a lot of dirt on there. I'm going to do a test run to see if I need to do it a second time. You know what, I think I can get away with just the twice, I think. This is going to take some extra elbow grease. The ebony fretboards are usually a lot less forgiving. So it's like, oh man, that's going to take some extra elbow grease, but that's alright. It's probably going to take me an extra half an hour on the total working of the guitar, but that's okay. To me, this isn't work. To me, this is something that's fun too. So. And even after I'm done, I still might go a second run. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see how this comes out. See how I like it. Just from sitting on a wall, so dirty it gets. And then if the wall is exposed to, you know, sun, if it's near the kitchen, it's going to get kitchen grease on it. And, you know, things like that. It's going to get extra dirt on it. Some of that dirty dirt, some of that extra dirty dirt. Man. Whew, man. You don't want to bear down too hard with your fingernails because it is wood and you will put gouges in it, so you don't want to, you know, do that much. Go lightly and take your time, and I'm already almost half done, so it's all good. And I still might go over it a second time. I don't know yet. gonna turn out pretty nice. Those frets have zero wear on them. I mean, so that's good. So we're getting it done. No biggie. See, the more I'm looking at it, the more I want to go over it a second time. Sometimes you just don't get everything in one fell swoop. It's pretty rare I have to go over a guitar fretboard and frets a second time, but it does happen. It is hot. Boy, you really... One really works up a sweat. Whew. Doing this. And I am quite tired of summer. I'm ready for winter. I am more than ready for winter. Oh, mercy. Mercy. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost done. And then I'll do a final wipe over and then decide if I'm going to do this a second time. So far I'm thinking I might. Even though it's a lot of work. Oh, beads of sweat running down my brow. But that's fine, I like the workout, you know. It's not good for my bad back, but what can you do? You can't have it all. Almost done. 3 more to go. one more. And I'll sit down and rest for a minute, and then I'll use that time to decide if I'm going to go for a second. Holy mackerel. Whoa. That is hard on my back. Now I'll tilt it to you guys, and now you see an extreme shine on the frets and fretboard there. Whereas before, I can actually see my face in it now. And against the fretboard, where before it was like, I might as well have been looking, trying to get a reflection out of this rag. And I think I'm going to do it a second time. I'm just going to rest a minute. And then we'll gear up to do it again. Meantime, I'll take the rest of the polish off of the top of these Rockfield pickups. I took the drill polisher and I ran it across them too. Boy, they look good, as you can see. Look at the shine on those pickups. And you can see the reflection of the back of the room and webcam in it. Oh.
Too many compromises. You want to watch the Caronet tournament? She wants to listen to music, so you compromise. Music.
Let's take a look at the BC Rich website and see if it's still active, and then I'll show it to you guys.
So here you were, ready to have a nice night, watching the Caronet.
Yeah, it is, bcrich.com.
Spending an agonizing evening listening to Klingon opera.
Oh, gosh darn, I gotta check that. Oh, okay. Forgot to change the topic. BC Rich Special Mockingbird.
Don't even think about it. I can't think about it. You might as well try to find a drink of water on the Yadozi Desert. Besides, I'd say our new commander is interested in her.
Now, I think that's saved. And I will show you guys the BC Rich website here. Here's the BC Rich website www.bcrich.com. And this is not a custom shop model by any stretch. It's just a regular off-the-shelf end-user guitar, if you will. This one is a Warlock, the shape. It's called a Warlock. This is a War Beast. We'll see if it looks like a Mockingbird is not going to come up. Here's a Mockingbird. Looks like it's a Bird's Eye Maple or something. But here's the BC Rich website. Yeah, here's that guitar. Oh, that's a nice one. I have a couple that are just like this. Really nice. Exotic tops. Let's see, hardtail bird with beautiful exotic wood tops, solid mahogany wings, and walnut stingers. Stingers are these things that run down the same side as the edge of the pickups here. Those little stingers. War Beast. Yeah, let's see if we can find this model. That's Kerry King. Kerry King. Boy, they're really promoting the Kerry King models. I like the Kerry King models. I think I have every model of Kerry King. if there is. I have this one, I have this one, I've got Mockingbirds, I've got War Beasts, I got Warlocks, I got quite a few of them. So this is the BC Witch website. Okay, I think I've rested enough. I'm going to go ahead and do that frets and fretboard again. Just to say I did. Just to say I did. If anything, it doesn't hurt it to do a second time or even a third time. I'm not going to do it a third time, that's for sure. But I will do it a second time. Just kind of a medium light going over, if you will. Just a medium light going over. And then we'll call it done after that. One more time, just to finish it. And there we go. Whew. And we'll call that done. And that is going to be a beautiful fretboard when we're finished with it. That'll be, in my ever so humble opinion, better than factory new, because it will have been treated. So that's why I say better than factory. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, clean side of the rag. And we'll go about a dozen wipes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whew. And just when you think you're done, oh yeah, it's coming out better. Whew. Look at that. Merciful. Merciful, merciful, merciful. Wow, just wow. Just wow. Okay, now I gotta go in between all the frets again. Which is okay. This time it'll be easier because now I've gone over it twice. So now the rag just kind of glides across the surface. Whereas the first time, I was, you could feel the drag on the rag. Feel the drag on the rag. Bit of an issue, but I'm gonna get it this time, that's for sure. this frets and fretboard will be slicker than a cat's ass. As my dad used to say, slicker than a cat's ass.
It's the H&I store at HNITV.com. Make a bold statement in one of these classic Deep Space Nine t-shirts. Go to HNITV.com and click on the store tab today.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with the way it's coming out the second time around. Again, you don't want to jam your fingernail too hard and deep into it, because then you'll create little tiny gouges in the wood, because it is wood and it'll still scratch and get little gouges in it. So you just let the weight of your hand and the weight of your fingernail, so to speak, do the work. Getting there, we're almost done. Oh man, almost done. Almost done, almost done, almost done. Son of a mother. Oh. Boy, that gives your back a workout. And your everything will work out. Boy, that fretboard's beautiful now. Look at that. Picture immediately before I sit down. What a friggin' difference. Just amazing. Whoa. Whew. Merciful. Oh.
You said try to rise above, which suggests you don't always.
Whoa. Wow. Wow, look at that fret and fretboard. Man, that is beautiful. Look at that. Now look at the shine on that. That is just amazing. That is badass. If you were going to have any guitar shop do this, what I'm doing, it'd probably cost you $40 to $75 just to have them do what I'm doing. And even then, they might not be doing a professional job. They just might be go over it with a little polish with a hand rag and then call it done. They're not going to go to the extent that I do in most cases. I know, because I've worked at many guitar shops, and I worked for BC Rich and Jackson and Ibanez and Fender, so I know what everybody does. I know it. So this is gonna come out pretty nice, I think. Some might ask, well, why don't I do a machine polish with the body? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The body doesn't have any scratches or micro scratches or dullness to it, so I don't need to go over it with a machine buff. I could, but it's not necessary. Plus, in doing so, one might accidentally put scratches in it. You know, some people go ahead and do that, and then they look at their job afterwards and they go, why are there new scratches in it? Well, because you put them there. Because you either didn't use the right polishing compound, or you didn't, or you pressed down too hard with your buffing wheel or whatever medium you're using. You know, things of that nature. So there is that. Polish the pickup bezels. Okay, check the chat. Questions, comments, criticisms, FUs, you're doing that wrongs, nothing? Okay. Very well. Now the finish on this is basically new, so there's no need to do a machine polish on it. There just isn't. Machine polish would be, like I said, in the necessity of if it had micro scratches and it had a kind of a cloudy hue to the finish. From ultra micro scratches, you know, a film of something on it, etc. Since it doesn't have any of that, there's no reason to go over it with a machine polisher. we'll wipe that off and see what our first polish looks like and see if I need to go over it again. I imagine I won't, but we'll see. You never know. Yeah, that's coming out pretty good. So far, I'm not seeing a need to go over it a second time. So far. Yeah, nice. Look at that. Pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice. Oh my, a shapeshifter. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. I am a huge Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, Babylon 5, etc. Fan. Anything that's outer space, I'm all about. I'm all about. Ooh, that looks pretty good. I'm going to stand up and look at it in the light and see if there's anything I need to do in addition to. You never know, there might be something. Whew, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I see a couple of spots, but that's alright. You know, black. It's black. It's, what can I say? It's black. Black is a very unforgiving color. Black shows every factory blemish. It shows every piece of dust. It shows every fingerprint. It shows every inconsistently. Like, black is a very unforgiving color, like I say. It's very hard to get black perfect. So I get up and I look at the finish at the bulb of the light above me. And if I see an inconsistency, you know, I'll go over it a second time. I mean, here's a factory blemish right here. You can see where the center, where the wood is pieced together. You know, and that'll happen. I mean, this is not a $3,000 guitar or anything, so you're gonna see stuff like that. You just are. Like I said, it's not an expensive guitar. I think these are 600 new, 700 new, I believe. So, yeah. we're doing pretty good here. So. Especially on black, when you stand up, you can see all your little things you need to go over again. But look at that. That's pretty shine on the body now. That's pretty darn spiffy. Ow! Oh! Charlie horse hit my hand on the edge of my table. Oh! Oh! Hit my arm. Ooh. Oh man, I'm gonna have to turn my fan on, I think, because it is hot. I'm hot anyway. It's 79 degrees in here, but I'm hot. Okay, so next we will do the posts for the bridge.
I can think of about 500 different people, but I haven't seen any of them around the station recently. Do you think that Federation doctor could do a sweep of the Budan's quarters for me? See if he can find out if somebody else was using that second bed.
Okay, pretty good. Okay, the second one. And we're making good time on this. I'm not in a rush or anything, but I do want to get it done tonight, so I can get it back up for sale tomorrow. Okay, now we will do the tailpiece bolts. Ooh, yeah, those are coming out nice. I'll use the big screwdriver on that so I don't mess up anything. And then we'll do the next one. Then we'll do the bridge, and then we'll do the knobs, and then the tailpiece, and then put the strings and tailpiece back on, and then do the top of the headstock, and then the sides and the back of the neck, and the tuners. Put the setup on it, and then we'll be done. I know that sounds like a lot, and it is, but it's actually not that big of a deal. I should be able to be done in about the next hour, I think. Maybe less. Okay. Pretty good. We're cooking with gas. Now I will do the bridge. Tone Pros by Goda is the bridge.
Thank you very much for coming.
So, yeah. And we'll start right in on this puppy.
This is wrong.
What would you suggest we do?
He didn't do it.
The men we have in charge of a murder investigation will prime suspect, Major. Those people have a right to complain.
Even if he's innocent, it could still seem like a conflict of interest, Kira. You're gonna relieve him of duty.
I don't see any other choice.
He has been completely candid about this investigation.
Ooh, so I'm just polishing on the bridge, which is a, again, it's a Tone Pros by Goda. That's G-O-T-O-H. G-O-T-O-H. They're a pretty good manufacturer of bridges. And I imagine the tailpiece is probably a Goda too. I'll have to look at it. We'll look at that when we polish it and see what it is. But I imagine that's probably what it is.
May have been conducting some sort of medical experiment on board his ship. He wasn't a doctor or a scientist. Well, let's see what a standard electrophoretic analysis does.
Okay.
DNA fragments. Now, what does that mean? It means we should set up a bioregenerative field to accelerate the cellular development. If I can reconstruct the DNA sequence, it might just give us an idea of what he was up to.
Cisco Toronto.
Here.
May I see you in my office, please?
Acknowledged.
So far, so good. The bridge is in very good condition. Again, it's new, so it ought to be in good condition.
Commander, sit down.
Now I'll polish between the bolts.
I am
Adjusting screws, rather.
I'm sure the reasons are obvious.
Who will be taking over the investigation?
I've placed Major Kiro and Lieutenant Dux in charge.
Will that be all, Commander?
I want you to know, I don't personally believe that you're responsible for this.
Really? How can that be true? You don't know me. You have no reason to believe I wouldn't kill evil down if it suited my fancy. Maybe there's in some
Oh,
dark
no.
question. But I'm not
Oh dear, I see one of the set screws missing. I must have, when polishing it, came out too far. And it's a little tiny set screw, I'll never find it. Dang it. Son of a mother. Just when I thought this was going to go off without a hitch, and I don't have any set screws, and then I'll take the flashlight to the floor and see if I can find it. Ooh, did I just find it? I blew and something. No, that's a piece of lint. Sometimes if you blow real gently on your workstation, you'll hear it slide across the table. is probably on the floor. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Okay, well, son of a mother. Ah, man. Now I'm not happy. Now I'm not happy at all. Dang it. I'll get the flashlight and see if I can find it. If I get really lucky, I'll find it. It'll shine. You'll see it from the shine of the flashlight. It's not in my lap or my shirt. It's probably on the floor. More likely than not.
Now you can try the Teeter Fit Spine for 30 days for just $14.95, and we'll ship it to you for free. Call now.
I had a really great time tonight.
Me too.
Yeah?
Dang it. I can't believe I did that. It happens. So I'll look on the desktop here first, just to make sure it didn't. You know what? What am I thinking? Let me look at this again. For Christ's sake. Okay, those set screws are still in there. What it might have been missing in the first place. Every once in a while they'll forget to put something in the factory, you know. But I will very carefully move and get my flashlight and shine it on the floor and see if it's there. Ooh, is that it? Oh, that's a piece of solder. I thought I found it. Dang it. What's that? No, that's... No. You see the shine of it. The flashlight. Make sure I'm not stepping on it. So just keep checking the floor. You angle your flashlight on the floor. And if it did land on the floor, it will shine back. So far I'm not seeing anything. And this works, this technique works 99 times out of 100. Oh. It's not under a bag. It might not have been on there in the first place. Okay, I'll check. Because it fell on my shirt, and then I stood up and left that one time. Then it might have stuck on my shirt, and then maybe a few more feet away. I don't see anything on the floor. So I think it never had one to begin with. Now I'm going to pick up the guitar and look under my workstation. It's not there. I already looked by the workstation. I don't see it anywhere. So I think it's safe to say it was missing to begin with. I usually check those things out, but it got past me this time. I hear somebody yelling outside. I'll be right back. It's not good when I hear somebody yelling outside.
Mostly he stayed around the Bajoran dissidents that the Cardassians locked up.
Yes, doctor.
Care for lunch?
Sure.
No, thank you. Major care's waiting for my report.
Just how many different lives do you think she's led? I don't even know. He'll go. She'll go through a list of them. And out comes another one in a later conversation. I guess the Jackson here is probably the sex choice.
Has she changed much?
Changed.
From the last one, Curves and Ducks. I understand that Trail integrates the personality of each new host.
I guess I'll have to find out. If I were to tell you some of the mischief he and I used to get into, there was a time I was no older than you are. We were attending a running of the regime steeplechase. Dax loves the races. Anyway, one of these gorgeous 7-foot Rugy twin sisters at Curzon, New York, and he and I guess we won't be doing that again soon, will we?
You care for her a great deal, don't you?
Dax and I just framed up. If you're interested, you have nothing to fear from me.
I mean, if I were in your shoes, knowing
Okay.
as intimately as you do,
I've ascertained what the yelling was, and it was my brother hooping it up at the at the Dodger game, watching it on the Booby Tubi. I didn't even know they were playing today, so that just tells you how much I follow sports. Okay, I'm going to assume that this bridge did not have the adjuster in it, because if you guys remember, when I took the bridge off, it just came up. Because these are set screws, and you screw those set screws onto the post and it won't move. If you remember, when I took it off, I just pulled up on it. There was no unscrewing of those. I forgot to check to see if these had set screws in them, and they do. So I am going to assume that the set screw was missing to begin with. I have set screws. I have to find them. I will put one on tomorrow because I want to finish the guitar tonight. I don't want to stop work on the guitar just for a 2-cent set screw. So I will finish the guitar, and then tomorrow, before I take pictures of it, I'll get a set screw out, and then I'll stick it in there and tighten it up. Okay, so there's a piece of foil under here. I don't know why. Gum wrapper. Strange. Okay, yeah. The tailpiece is a Tone Pro Goda too. It's gonna be hard to see, but there it is, nonetheless. You know what? No, it's okay. I'll polish this first. So yeah, I'm not gonna let a 2-cent set screw ruin the whole job. So I have some. I've got hundreds. Well, not hundreds, but I have dozens and dozens and dozens of them. So I'll get one out tomorrow in the shop when I have daylight, and I will find one and just put it in there right before I take pictures of the guitar, and then that will be that. That will be that, and it'll be all good and golden. All good and golden.
there's a pattern you're just not able to detect. Sometimes in order to find something that we can't explain. Numbers, Sunday 4/3 Central, right here on H&I.
So yeah, I was wondering what the yelling was about. Usually when he's yelling, it's not good. It's an issue. There's an issue to be had somewhere. And I was like, oh no, what's wrong? But he's fine. He was hooping and hollering about the a play done on the World Series game. game. I guess it's game 3. I think it is. I don't follow sports unless it's car related, drag racing, go-kart racing, NASCAR, etc. Okay. So I don't have to polish on this too much because it's already basically new, so. Okay. I think we're good on the polish on this. It looks like it was just taken out of the box today. So I'm going to go ahead and it's wrapped up. Now I'm going to have to undo it here. Now I got my fingerprints on it. And then I will go ahead and I will stretch this across and put this back on. Hopefully. I might have to, I'm going to have to loosen the machines more. Okay, that might be enough. Let's see. One particular string is holding it more back than the other. Okay, now try it again. Oh, mercy. Not what I wanted. Come on. Come on, baby. This type can be a little tough to get back on. I might have to. Now I should be able to get this sucker. There we go. Lift up a little bit on it. Yeah, string came off. Come on now. Come on. Get on there, sucker. There we go. Merciful. Now I gotta tighten those set screws so it doesn't come flapping back out at me. Yeah, this video is going a little longer than I wanted to, but whatever. You have to be careful because if you go around, you'll scratch the top. So you just kind of have to be patient and go a little bit at a time. And then tomorrow I'll get the other set screw for the bridge.
Do that. I have some interesting questions to ask them. For example, I'm especially curious to know how the name La Monnaie S came to appear on this ship's passenger list yesterday.
That is my name. And I arranged transfer on this vessel. Why should that be so strange?
You did not arrive on this ship.
No.
What ship did you arrive on, Mr. La Monnaie S? I can't find any record of your arrival on any vessel that has docked here in the last 2 weeks.
I assure you.
And then I won't go tight on them yet until I've put tension on the strings and make sure everything is copacetic. Go one more turn on this one. Okay, we'll call that one done for now. I'm a little concerned about that missing set screw, but that's okay. It's just a set screw, and it's not, you know, indicative of only a BC Rich set screw. You can use, you can use any set screw. So it's not like it's, you know, it's, I'm screwed because I don't have one. So, okay, now we'll do the top of the headstock. Go ahead and take those off because I have to reset them anyway. The wines on this were on the outside and the wines are supposed to be on the inside. So whoever strung it last didn't string it right. And yeah. So, oops, that one came off. So I will go ahead and re-wrap those very carefully, so that way I don't have to put on new strings, because these already are new strings. So I don't want to have to replace them already. Just for that. So I'll give the headstock a nice polish while all the strings are off. And I'll get the sides of the headstock. And yeah, we're doing alright. That off. Ooh, wow, that looks stellar. Absolutely stellar. Like I said, it ought to. It's a brand new guitar. So it ought to look stellar. It ought to look stellar. It's brand the frig new. Now one might say, well, if the guitar is brand new, why am I doing what I'm doing to it? Well, typically a guitar is not going to have what's called a setup on them. Unless it's like maybe a custom shop guitar or something, it might have a setup on it. So I put a setup on it. I tighten all the nuts, bolts, screws, and washers. I check the truss rod. Things of that nature. And inevitably, something needs adjustment. Even if it's just to put a 1/16 of a turn on a screw to make it a little bit tighter, or a 1/16 of a turn on a nut to make it a little tighter, that's fine. A lot of people complain and say, right in the comment section, well, you don't need to do that to a new guitar. Most guitars that are like made in Mexico, made in China, made in Japan, when they put them together at the factory, they don't necessarily put a professional setup on it. They put a factory setup on it, put it in a initial tune, and then that's it. They don't go to the extent to what I'm doing because it's too time consuming to do that. So they don't bother with it. So this is why I do what I do. Truss rod cover back. And I like my actions very low. That means string height. I like mine just above buzz point. I mean just above, to where it literally just stops buzzing when you strum the strings at a decent amount. And that's what I like. And most people like a very low action. Because it makes the guitar a little easier to play, a lot easier to play. Some people like a really ultra high action, what I like to call a ham sandwich action, where the action is so high you can stick a ham sandwich, not literally, but you can stick a ham sandwich between the fretboards and the string and pull it out the other end without touching. Again, like I said, not literally, but figuratively. So yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I like my actions pretty high. Low, rather, I'm sorry. And yeah, you know, like my actions low and mellow, not high in the sky. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this guitar tonight. Minus the little tiny set screw that's in the bridge, which I have in the shop. Tomorrow I will get one and just Allen it in there in the morning when I get ready to take pictures of this guitar tomorrow in the morning or early afternoon. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, so go ahead and I think put the strings back to tension, I think. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that, get that done. This is a really heavy gauge E string. It's like a 50 or 52. It's really big. Some people like heavier gauge strings on this. I think these are 11s that are on this. And I'm not going to change that. So, and I'll go ahead and raise up on the action a little bit now to factory setting. I pretty much know what the factory setting is on this. So I'll just go ahead and do that now. And then because it wasn't wound correctly to begin with. So I'm just gonna okay. Ooh, I thought my wire cast froze there for a second. And make sure the string is in its bridge saddle groove. And there we go on that. And we'll do the third string. And again, you want the wraps under each other, not over, or over and under and over and under like the B string was. It was a bird's nest, so I had to rewrap it. Make sure it's in its saddle groove, which it isn't. No, it is. Oh, you also want to make sure it's in its nut groove. And this is a good nut. This is a graphite nut. I think my brother's hooping it up again. I guess the Dodgers won or something. He's not a big sports fan, but he's watching it, so kudos to him. Oh, my back is really starting to hurt. That's okay. I'll get through it. Yeah, these strings are really thick and big. These are 11s. These are 11s for sure. Now I'm going to rewrap this the right direction. You have to be really careful when doing that because you might break the string because it's been wrapped around the opposite direction. So I'm going to have to go really slow and mellow so as not to break the string, because I don't want to put new ones on it because these are new. So I don't want to have to go to the expense of putting another new set of strings on here because that'll cut into my profit on the guitar, even if it's only $10 for a $10 set of string or a $5 set of strings. At the end of the year, that could be $500 if I have to keep replacing strings. And I don't want to have to do that, so I'm going to go very slow, very mellow, and make sure it's in the groove, and it is. Okay, now we'll do the next string. And I'll go ahead and take my little tiny piece of Scotch-Brite and just kind of, because there's a little bit of tarnishing on the strings, even though they are new. This guitar was mounted on a wall hanger, and the guy didn't play it. So I'll just kind of take a little bit of the tarnishing off and put a polish on the string. Ooh, now it feels beautiful. And now I will go ahead and put the string on the correct way. And be very careful and take my time.
Would you like to try it?
And then make sure the string is in its saddle groove. Oh. slow because more likely to break this string. Actually, more likely to break the high E string, but okay, Scotch Brite to this string. And just lightly go back and forth on it until you feel the drag. Because when you first start and it's tarnished, you feel the drag on it. You just kind of keep going until you turn your hand like this until you feel the drag stop. And then you feel it with your fingers, and now it's good. It's good to go.
I'm concerned that we're disturbing him. Let's drop back a bit. Give him a little more room.
Yes, ma'am. Captain, we're accelerating. We're getting closer.
So I'm going to go extra slow with this string. And even so, I still stand a chance on breaking it.
We're moving much faster than we ought to be. They seem to be.
Because it's the thinnest string.
Centrals indicate an EM resonance field. The creatures seem to be creating their own magnetic wake. That is what is pulling the ship.
We're getting closer.
So I'm just going to go really slow and mellow.
Controls aren't responding.
And I don't know why it did that, because I have it plugged in. Or do I? I'm going to have to go get my power supply for my laptop here real quick. Dang it.
Sometimes the darkest times define the greatest heroes.
I thought I plugged it in, but I guess I didn't. I forgot to plug it in. So I will be right back as soon as I get this to tension.
You're watching Star Trek Voyager.
Okay, come on, baby.
On Twitter with #AllStarTrek and watch each original classic TV series 6 nights a week, starting at 8.
Okay, I'm going to go get my battery charger real quick for the laptop. Hold on, folks.
There is an emergency food crisis for elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union. This is a fight against time. What we're dealing with is coming out, meeting someone who's 85, 90 years old.
Okay, charger. I had it out, but I just simply forgot to hook it up. I really need to get my main streaming computer hooked up over here in the corner. Well, it already is technically hooked up. I can't access it because I have some stuff in the way. There we go. Now it should be charging. Yep, now it's good. 11%. Plugged in and charging. Okay. Yeah, the laptop I'm using is a 2016 HP 17.5-inch Star Wars edition laptop. I've got 3 of these laptops. I bought them new in the box from an office, a law office, that was going... Well, no, I take it back. They weren't going out of business. They were moving, and they wanted to make their load as light as possible, and they had these guitars new in the box. And I paid like 40% of retail on them, and they also had some Alienware X51s brand new in the box. I bought for $300 a piece. I bought 5 of those. I set 2 up, and I still have others to set up. So okay, so we got the strings on successfully. I'm going to crush the ends. Whoops. Okay, and by crush the ends I mean take the end. Here's the top of the let me give me a better example. Here, use my my coaster. Here's the top of the tuner peg post that the string goes around. Now you want the strings like this. You don't want them like this. So where the hole is that the string goes through, sometimes it will go like this, and it will, here, there we go, I'm trying to get a, there. Sometimes it will go like that, so I take my flat needle nose pliers and I squish it to where it's flat like that, so that way you don't get any tuning issues. And not a lot of people do that. In fact, most quote-unquote professional guitar setup people don't even do that, but I do. And this is just a jeweler's needle nose. It has no teeth on the inside. It's flat, so it's not going to make any marks on the. It's not going to make any marks on the machine heads. So once I do this, I can just about guarantee you, I will no longer. This guitar will no longer have any tuning issues. So yeah, I just crimp that end in, and I make sure all the wraps on the strings are like this. All the winds are like that, and not like that, or like this, or like that. You want them all nice like that. You don't want any spaces, because it's those spaces that can create tuning issues. When you go to tune it or detune it, it'll go like this, like a spring. But if they're tightly wrapped around the peg, when you tune it, it'll do this instead of this, and you won't have any tuning issues. Not a lot of professional guitar setup techs even know that. I've ran across techs that have been techs for 30 years and didn't know that. They're like, oh wow, you know, I never thought of that. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, now you do. So yeah, I mean, it's these little tips that make my setups really good, and people come from miles and miles and miles around. I have people drive 2.5 and 3 hours to drop a guitar off for me to do setups on, and you know, pay me $75, $80 to $100, even up to $150 for a setup, because it's kind of an art, if you will. You know, I take pride in doing my setups. And I even have people that take their setups, you know, they say, oh, you know, they ask for a price on my setups, and I tell them, you know, generally $75 to $120, and they go, oh, just take it to Guitar Center. The problem with that is you're going to have a 20-something-year-old kid who's maybe only been doing it a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, do your setup, and they're only going to know what Guitar Center taught them, and that's it. They're not going to know these little eccentricities that you can do. And anyway, they end up taking their guitar to have set up a Guitar Center. They don't do it right, and then they call me back and say, well, I just spent $50, $60 on a setup, and they can't get it to tune, or they can't get it to intonate, or they can't get it to whatever. And that's where I come and I fix the mistakes. It just, it is what it is, you know. I'm not saying it to bash Guitar Center, because I used to work at Guitar Center back in the 90s. So I know Guitar Center. I know Guitar Center very well. I worked at Guitar Center for several years. So I'm not bashing Guitar Center. They only know what corporate tells them, and then that's it. You know, they don't hire professional, ultra-professional techs, because for one thing, they can't afford them. You know, they're not going to pay a tech $25 an hour. they want to pay minimum wage kids basically to work their stores. They don't want to pay somebody $25, $30 an hour to do the work. They just don't. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I walked into Guitar Center, the one I used to work at, and they always say, "Hey man," because you know there's a few people that worked there when I worked there back in the 90s, and they're all, "Man, can you come back and work for us?" And I tell them, "Well, you know what? You can't afford me. Guitar Center can't afford me." It just, that's the fact. They can't afford me. So I'm going to try and finish this guitar by midnight. And that'll be over 2 hours. So it should be okay on that. So we're putting the knobs back. I polish the knobs. The guitar store doesn't even think to polish a knob. Polish a knob? Yeah. Polish a knob. You know it's plastic, polish it. You know. It's a plastic knob, polish it. You know, why not? Why the frig not? So this is going to be a professional guitar when I'm done with it. That any professional, famous guitarist could pick up and play at their concert and go, "Wow, man, this thing plays amazing." It plays like a $1,000 guitar, a $2,000 guitar, a $3,000 guitar. Okay, there we go. All the knobs are back. Look at the shine on this bastard. Look at the shine on the knobs. Look at the shine on the pickups. Look at the shine on the bridge. Look at the shine on the frets and fretboard. Guitar Center's not going to do that for you. Sam Ash is not going to do that for you. Other guitar stores are not going to do that for you. Because they don't know. It's not really their fault per se. It's just kind of a lost art, if you will. You know, same thing when I do piano work. When I put 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 150 hours on doing a setup on a piano and a regulation and a tuning and all that, and they sit down at a $2,000 piano and play a chord, and they just go, "Wow, this sounds so great." You know, I've had people sit down at some of my pianos that I have for sale that are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and $5,000, and they compare the sound and the quality to a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 Steinway. Because I put that effort into it. Look at the frets and fretboard. The frets and fretboard are just phenomenal. They came out so great. So now that I have it back together, I did take a picture of it, you know, like this. So now I'm going to take a picture after. And, did I have flash on the last picture? I don't remember. I'm going to say I didn't have flash. Well, I might have had flash. We'll see. I'm going to take one with and without flash. So. Now compare that to my other picture and see how close I am. It's hard to tell. I think I got the angle right. Yeah, pretty good. What a freaking difference before and after. God, I always amaze myself. I'm not patting myself on the back per se. Or maybe I am a little. You know, why not? Why not pat myself on the back a little bit, you know? Not a lot of people are going to put... For an inexperienced person to do on this guitar, what I'm doing would probably take them 4 or 5 hours. And I'm going to do it in under 2... I'm going to do it in about 2.5. So, I'm at the point now where I'm going to flip this guitar over and polish the back, the sides, the neck, the back of the neck, the tuners, and then I'll put my setup on it. And you guys know I'm pretty fast on doing the setups. I can do a setup in about 10 to 20 minutes, barring any problems, issues, or glitches. So I'm not going to polish these because sometimes you see me polish these or wax these, but they still have the protective film, factory protective film on them, so I'm not going to polish that because it's protective film and I'm going to polish that. So, yeah.
Consider the fact that it might be necessary for the crew to start having children.
It might take us a long time, you know.
If it does take 75 years, we're going to need replacement crew in about half that time.
I thought we'd be considering a generation shift so we ordered on a 3-week mission.
I know, but it's a problem we have to face now.
So there's no buckle rash on this because the guitar is new. So I should only have to polish this once. And actually I'm polish / waxing. I have my own formula, if you will, that I have in my bottle here. It's a combination of a couple of things. I won't say what, but it's, at the very least, it's wax and polish.
There aren't any easy answers here.
So yeah.
Yes, and I need you to help me decide because I would want you to meet with me.
Okay. So here's, see, the swirl marks, and now I'm going to take the polish off. Ooh, wow. Yeah, that's nice.
I've never known anyone as young as I am who had a baby.
Oh wow, yeah, that's nice. Ooh, wow, that is awesome. That is awesome sauce right there.
I always assumed that
I'm only gonna have to go over a couple of spots. There's like a little bit of somebody's spittle, maybe my own even.
To be honest, I've never given it much thought. Until now, my life has been so routine. There's no way I could have provided the stability the child would need.
but now it's different,
Nice.
isn't it?
Perfect. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Okay, now I will flip the guitar and do the sides. I'm starting to, my back is starting to hurt, so I want to finish this guitar as soon as possible.
Bringing the child into the world. It's a huge responsibility. You know, you have to be sure we're both up to the task. I'm aiming for something that
So I need to know your answer.
Alright. Now we're cooking with gas here. We're doing the home stretch for the cleaning and polishing aspect of this guitar. Oh wow, yeah, nice. Nice. That is badass, I'm telling you right now. Okay, now I gotta do the neck, and then the back of the neck and the tuners. And then we'll be done, and then I can start setup on it. Now I'm wanting to get it done. Here's my brother whooping it up again about the game. That's cool. That's cool.
I have four. Mine. That should be quite a family. What's it like being a father? The question is so broad, it is difficult to respond.
So I can get this done pretty swiftly because it's not tarnished. So getting this done in a timely fashion will be quite easy.
That is certainly true. But I'm glad it's a lot more trouble than it's worth. Mr. Helix, I am aware of your situation. It appears you are in some doubt as to the wisdom of becoming a parent. It's just all happening so fast.
It's coming along pretty swimmingly,
But if you have considerable doubts about
pretty
fatherhood,
good. I'm pretty happy about how it's coming out so far.
it is so much more
Minus the
I believe
little set screw, but that's not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about a 2-cent set screw that I can go into my shop and get another one and put it on tomorrow before I take pictures of it. So I'm not worried about that at all. Ooh, the back of the neck is just like absolutely perfect. Not a scratch, not a blemish, not anything on it. Back of the neck is just absolutely stellar. Absolutely stellar. I'm pretty happy with it.
survival methods, piloting skills, romantic techniques. If you say so. But I must point out that there is an equal chance that you would have a daughter. I don't have anything to teach a daughter. Why would it be any different from what you would teach a son? Which is what? She learned more from her mother. I have 3 sons and 1 daughter. I can assure you she benefits as much from my presence and guidance as my sons do. It is unfortunate.
Wow, yeah, it's coming out nice. Somebody's going to be very happy with buying this guitar. I think anybody that comes and looks at it is going to fork over $450 for it within minutes of coming to look at it. I mean, I really do. I really, really do. I'm not bragging about that at all. This is quite a stellar piece. Quite a stellar piece.
Initiating the field.
Quite a stellar piece. worried about this at all. Back of the neck is perfect in every way, shape, or form. Okay, flip this over. And down we go gently. And now I'm basically ready to put the setup on it. I'm going to do pretty swiftly because time is marching on and I want to get this done. Generally, I like to keep my setups under 3 hours, and we're at 2 hours and 26 minutes. I'm going to get a fresh drink and I'll be right back.
House, all day Tuesday, starting at 11:10 Central. Part of the day shift on H&I.
I am sentencing you to 1,500 hours of community service as a child advocate.
Guardian, Sunday, starting at 4 Central.
See you in court.
On H&I.
So Frank, you're the big hurt. Why do you need injections? After 40, I got jealous free testosterone. Even me.
Okay. Fresh soda.
Yes. The number one selling free testosterone.
Oh, actually, it's a V8 juice thing.
My workouts are incredible now.
Berry blend. Okay. Wow, this guitar looks phenomenal. Okay, let me clear my thoughts. And okay, put a general tune on it. Plug her back in. And oh yeah, that jack feels better. I'm happy with that. Excuse me. We will put a general tune on this. Noticed I overtuned the strings quite a bit because I'm doing what's called stretching the strings, just like you kind of have to do on a piano. You overtune it and then you tune back down, and then that'll kind of stretch the strings out, and it'll help it more with tuning. So good. So far so good. tune. It's not perfectly in tune yet, but it will be soon. Because I still have to do action height and pickup height and all that. Closer. I gotta cut a end off. I see an end sticking out on the string. So I'll cut that off. Now that'll change the tune on that string. See? Try intonation. Intonation should be very close anyway, but perfect. Pretty close. See, because it's so shiny, I can't see.
Sometimes I think I hear his voice in my head. Inside me.
Almost. Perfect. That one's already pretty close. perfect. Oh.
Am I really ready to have a child? I'm prepared to give that child the attention and devotion it deserves. Am I capable of
That one's already almost perfect.
There's so much I haven't done. There's so much I want to study and learn. I'm not sure I'm finished, but how could I help the child?
That one's almost right on it. I'll just give it a little bit of a adjustment. Ooh, almost. Oh, my neck is really hurting. Oh. Okay, the intonation is perfect on it. I'm going to double check that E string again.
It just wants to give up and die. And that's where we come in.
Ah,
To comfort these people.
yep, perfect. Now we'll do the action height. Wrong screwdriver. Right screwdriver. I want this action down as low as humanly possible. Or inhumanly possible. Go a little lower, half a turn, and then half a turn. You want to make sure you want to go down equally, and then you can adjust accordingly after that. pretty close on this setup. Just need to go half a step on the strings. Okay, so far so good. I think that's about as low as I can get the action. From looking at it, it's lower than factory settings, so that's pretty darn good. I'm going to call that done because I'm getting tired and I want to finish this, and yeah. Okay, intonation is perfect. Go ahead and put the final tune on it. I'm not going to pick it up and test play it because it's black. I don't want to get I just polished it and waxed it. I don't want to get all my fingerprints all over it again. So I'm just going to play it slide guitar style, if you will. Absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect. It could not be more perfect. Carefully take the cable away. Turn the light off. And we're basically done with this guitar. Basically done with this guitar. I gotta end this video. I have Halloween decorations to bring in so people don't steal them overnight. So I'm gonna wait about 3 minutes and that will be the end of this video. It is done. This thing is absolutely stunning in every way, shape, and form. stand up and look at it, make sure I don't have my fingerprints all over it. I'm going to take pictures of it tomorrow. Put that little set screw in it, of course, tomorrow. Oh, I have to tighten that. It's just one set screw first, so I don't forget. I'll do that right now. Almost forgot that. I'll tighten the one set screw.
Is still at Deep Space Nine. Doesn't even know. We were only supposed to be out 2 or 3 weeks. Fun. Are you pregnant?
Come on.
I know this isn't the best place to have a baby, but it's all
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Get the angle on it. There we go. You want to make sure your Allen is securely in there so you don't strip it out. And tomorrow I will go in the shop and I will get another 1.5 and stick it in there tomorrow, tighten it up, take pictures of it, and you guys will be able to see it on Classic Guitar Twitter, Facebook, my personal website. That's KLASIC space guitar. You know what? I'm gonna do one final little adjustment and do the pickup height just a little bit higher. Just a little bit. Oop. Just a tad bit higher, you know. Just a tad. Pick up pole height's good. I adjusted that already. Okay, that's good. Okay, now the guitar is done. Now it's done. One little spot there I need to polish up. See, I'm very critical. Very critical. I don't let anything to chance, you know. So, alright. That is it on this BC Rich Special Mockingbird in black with cloud inlays, 1 3-way switch, 2 volume, 2 tone, 2 Rockfield pickups, ebony fretboard, Grover tuners. That is it on this. So we will conclude this video, and we're at 2 hours and 50 minutes. So I went over what I wanted to, but the guitar came out pretty nice. So thank you again for joining me on this guitar. Again, it is a NOS, new old stock, BC Rich Special Mockingbird. I think the year is 2010 on it, looking at the serial number. But the guy bought it, strummed it once, put it away. So I consider that, and most people consider that, new. You go to a guitar store and you pick a guitar up off the wall, it's been played. So you could conceivably call those guitars used. It's, you know, there's a debate going on about that, and people debate with me all the time about, well, that's not, your guitar is technically not new because I'm doing a setup on it, so therefore it's used. Well, you know, one can go back and forth on it, on that aspect of it, but it still has the protective plastic on the back covers and all that, so I consider the guitar new. But I'm not, when I post the guitar for sale, I'm not going to post it as brand new. I'm going to post it as NOS, new old stock, and I'm going to put the year on it. And anybody that comes to look at it's going to look at this thing and go, this thing's new. So whoever buys it's going to be very happy with it. I'm going to put between $400 and $450 on it, and I think it'll sell very easily at $450. I don't see any problem selling it at that. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. I don't know what the next guitar is going to be, but we'll see. It'll be something something good as usual. So thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Thank you.